just received a call from Secretary Clinton.
Nobody disputes that Donald Trump won the US presidential election, but what's under scrutiny now is the extent to which social media sites were manipulated in order to sway the minds of American voters. Russian President Vladimir Putin denies his country has done anything, but Facebook said it found evidence that hundreds of accounts controlled by so-called troll farms backed by the Kremlin were filling the newsfeed of everyday Americans with inflammatory messages on key political talking points. Similar tactics were seen being used on Twitter as well. The Russians are said to have used the company's advertising services to target misinformation at users in parts of the country where the presidential race was especially tight. Google conducted its own investigation and discovered that thousands of dollars had been spent by Russian-linked groups on search advertisements. The company is also looking into activity on YouTube, another potential platform for misinformation.
These tools are being used real time to try to sow discontent in our country.
The social networks are now being summoned to Capitol Hill to defend themselves. Google, Facebook and Twitter will appear in front of several committees, including the Senate's wide-reaching investigation into Russian meddling in the American democratic process. Away from the public eye, the committee has already spoken to some of the tech companies, but was less than impressed at what it heard.
Presentation that the Twitter team made to the Senate Intel staff today was deeply disappointing.
One person who does not feel the issue is worth talking about at all is President Trump himself. What the tech companies are really afraid of is more regulation. Several high-profile politicians have drawn up what they call the Honest Ads Act. It's a proposed law that would demand more transparency and greater restriction on online advertising. The companies would rather regulate themselves and so have been trying their hardest to show they are taking the situation seriously. Twitter has introduced a new ad policy and banned 2 major Russian media organizations from advertising on the platform. And Facebook has said it would make it clear who is buying ads and for what purpose.
I care deeply about the democratic process and protecting its integrity.
But that isn't all tech companies are doing to try and gain influence in the capital. Between July and September this year, Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook and Microsoft, between them spent $14 million lobbying politicians in Washington.